Mother was very strict on teaching both of us, my sister and myself, to help around the house. Help with the dishes, help with hanging out the clothes, which I hated, but I learned to do it.
That was before there were clothes dryers, right?
Oh yes, that was long before I learned how to use a washing machine, how to put things through a wringer washer and into the rinser and things like that, and hanging. How to hang things on a clothesline. Until I got married and learned that you can take it out of the basket and just hang it any which way.
And as you went off to college, where did you go and how did you choose?
I went to New Paltz, what was then called New Paltz State Teachers College. Now I believe it's SUNY, which is State University of New York at New Paltz. It's got a fancy name now. But I got an excellent education in early childhood.
And why did you choose to study early childhood?
Well, I always wanted to teach kindergarten.
Oh.
So I ended up teaching preschool and first grade for 2 years, preschool, and then I taught kindergarten for 25 years.
Wow.
So I actually taught for 40 years. But I had one little boy that honestly had never said a word from September, October, or November in the classroom. I'd ask him a question and he'd kind of shrug his shoulder and not say anything. But when I asked him to say the line, long, long ago, there was a city called Bethlehem, he stood up and in an absolutely gorgeous voice, he came out with, long, long ago, there was a city called Bethlehem. And all 5 teachers nearly fell out of their chairs. We had never heard this child speak. And when he's given a part that was away from himself, he could do it. So we gave him a narrator's part. And he was able to stand in front of the whole school and memorize the narrator's part and did beautifully. I've often wondered what he became because he blossomed.
And after that, he talked in class and he was okay. Isn't that something?
Yeah, and we found every year that kindergarten play, I mean, people would say, you're spending time on the kindergarten play. It really did bring out children that needed it. And it was amazing. And some of the little kids who were angels, who were not necessarily angels the rest of the year, could actually rise to the occasion and discover that they could be angels.
Oh, interesting.
So it was a fun time, and we all had fun doing it. And I mean, just bought a Victorian house in White Plains.
Oh.
Now, by then we had 4 kids. And they were going through school, and we had moved into the house. We're in it for 2 weeks. And Bob got a phone call. He'd stayed home with Victorian houses. They need a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
And he had stayed home to do some work, and the phone rang with somebody from Shell saying they were closing the New York City office and moving 1,200 families to Houston, Texas.
Oh my, what a change.
Yes, and I'll tell you, when you live in New York, Houston sounds like the end of the world.
Especially if you live in White Plains.
Yes.
That's a gorgeous piece of New York. Oh.
Well, 300 families were going to San Ramon, California, and we were in the San Ramon group.
Oh.
And that was inland from San Francisco, so we thought, great, we can buy another Victorian house. Ha! Well, we were too far inland to buy us a new, we ended up with a brand new house, which was very nice, but it was not the Victorian house. So we enjoyed our Victorian house for 6 months and sold it and moved to California.
Oh, but eventually you ended up in Houston, too.
Yes, we were in California for 7 years.
And how long were you in Houston?
Oh, well, 40 years.
40 years or so.
Until I moved here.
What are the things you've enjoyed about your volunteer experience, and what has it done for you?
Since I moved here, I volunteer at Caraway Elementary School. I read to first graders, and I thoroughly enjoy that. It's kept me in with my, I guess, with my training.
Yeah.
And I go every week to read and love that.
Mm-hmm. And do you take your science pets with you?
I take my animals. I have a whole shelf of animals over here, and I have a new one on the table ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I take my own books.
Oh.
I have a whole bunch of books that I've collected through the years.
Oh.
And when I'm at the store, if I see something new, I take that. They let me bring whatever books I want to read.
Oh, that's cool.
So I thoroughly enjoy that. It gets me away from the old people here.
Keeps you connected.
Yes.
Can you tell if the kids are different now than they were when you were teaching them back years ago? Or are they
Not
pretty
really.
much the same?
They're pretty much the same.
Now you've got an interesting task. You're the leader of the band.
Oh,
So,
that's fun.
Tell me how that came about and what you're doing with it.
Well, I used to play the tea kettle in the band.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a very tuneful ornament. Organ. Anyway, the band leader left, and it was sort of, who wants to be the band leader? Well, most of the band members are people that are very willing to be in the band, but, and being the normal ham that I am, I said, well, I'll try it. And I discovered that I really didn't mind doing it at all.
You look like a natural at it. I've seen you doing it, and it looks really good.
Well, you know, I was in high school plays, I was in college plays. I don't really mind getting up in front of a group of people, and it's kind of fun being the band leader.
And you're good at encouraging everybody to sing and
Well,
giving them the wherewithal to do it.
the funny thing is, I think it runs in the family, because my mother was in a play when I was in high school, and her famous line, it was a church play, and church people will enjoy this because her famous line was, "I'm the chairman of this committee, and what I say goes." And it literally brought down the house. And it was a standard around our house for years. When Mother wanted something done, she would just announce, "I'm the chairman of this committee." And my sister and I would go, "Oh, not again." But through the years, I was a painter, as you see by all the pictures on the wall. I painted. And I just finished crocheting an Afghan, the red one on the piano bench. That's what I spend my time doing. I crochet for the family. And I travel a lot.
Okay.
Of course, I go to visit the various families, and I have a sister and a friend in Connecticut that I go to visit. So between Connecticut and Plano and Allen and Scottsdale, by the time I visit all four of those and come home,
it's time to start over again.
Exactly, then I start over again.
What makes for a happy marriage that lasts a long time?
Bob told me he loved me every day. And I told him I loved him every day. And, you know, he was always pleasant.